All right, y'all. West Coast Battle Media, Peel Your Cap Radio. We are here, West up, West Coast up, all that good shit, man. We have a special guest tonight, man. A pioneer of the culture. You know what I'm saying? The West Coast very own Lush One, Lush Uno. We in the building, man. What's going on, man?
The chillest cat, but y'all still gonna feel my wrath when I peel your cat, motherfucker.
Oh, man, that's going to be my intro for all my shows now. That's fire. Certified.
That one's on the house. That's yours.
So, man, how you doing, King?
You know, I'm blessed, bro. Very, very excited about this upcoming event. Well, first of all, you know, not to derail too much because it's not what we're here to talk about, but I did just put out an album today. It's called The Saint and the Tyrant. And basically, it's a project that I've put the most heart into of any. I've released probably like 23 albums since 2005. And this is the one that really, I would say, is like the most true to myself. I hope y'all enjoy it. If it's free, if y'all want to make a donation, you can. Go right ahead. It's on my Bandcamp. I'm juiced about that. But I'm real juiced about this Town Bidness card because Oakland need it, Cali need it, Battle Rap need it. I think all of our souls need it.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I'm not going to lie. When the announcement came out that they had an event, and I seen it was called Town Bidness, the first person I thought of was you. I said, if anybody could keep it Western and keep the essence of this West Coast shit alive, it would have to be Lush. Lush would have to have had his hands all up on that card, man. So just seeing that made me get that old West feel back. Like, okay, we taking it back. We taking it back now.
Now off top, this event right here is very different than most of the classic events that I've had a hand in the past. Well, I would say most of the classic events prior to my affiliation with King of the Dot, because at that time, like I'm talking the early grind time days and all that, when, you know what I'm saying, most of these battle rappers were still in grammar school and all that, and I was already in the retirement home. At that point, I was pretty much putting these cards together all by myself, funding them myself, and organizing almost every aspect of the event outside of the production, which Avocado has handled from day one. It was pretty much all me. And now I'm afforded the luxury of working with a team that operates like a very advanced battle rap think tank. And we've been working together for several years, know each other's eccentricities, each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we're able to come together and create something greater than any of us can individually do. But you know, you can't even use a phrase like Town Bidness if you ain't Town Bidness. You feel me? And it's a very deep, like to people from Oakland, California, that phrase has a lot of meaning, and what it basically means is local. This is us. This is like this is our culture. This is what we're all about. This is what we're bringing to the table. So, I think if anything, you know, it's an amazing event title, but I think it might have been misleading to some people who were maybe under the impression that it was going to be all Bay Area or all Oakland rappers on the card. Unfortunately, that's not the case with this event, but I do think that we pretty much, well, I can't say too much because the whole card hasn't been announced yet, but there's a whole lot of West Coast factors. Pretty much the majority of everyone's top 10 list is on this card.
Yeah, now this card is very heavy, man. Like, when I was looking at the matchups as they were coming out, I'm like, I would have never thought of putting these two people together, but when I really thought about it, I'm like, man, these matchups are crazy. Like, I haven't seen one battle on the card where I'm like, okay, this battle's not fire. Like, every battle on the card literally has potential to be something special. You know what I mean? Like, you got dudes like Active on the card. You got dudes like Mad Flex on the card. Like, I feel like the card's balanced. It has the right amount of people from the West, the right representation from the West for one. And it's giving some of our up-and-comers, some of our people who may be a little more underrated, everybody's getting a shot. You know what I'm saying? End of the day, too, announcement comes out, and you got the Source and Caustic. Like, you really can't build a card any better than this. So shout out to yourself and everybody at King of the Dot, man, for putting together a crazy card, man. Town Bidness is definitely looking like that, just that.
Organic, Gully, King Fly, and J Pro, and myself, you know what I'm saying, all been working around the clock on this hoe. And I'm fortunate enough to be on the front lines because I'm out here, and I'm actually going to be going up to the town in a couple weeks just so I could, you know, do it real old school and just pound pavement. Like, we don't even need to promote this event because it's already going to be sold out. But I'm still, what did Jay-Z say? Don't let me do it to them, Dunny, because I overdo it. You feel me? Like, that's how I'm feeling right now. And like, as an event organizer, curator / host, I try to get reactions in a very similar fashion that the battlers who I'm helping facilitate the matches for are getting. Like, when you're a battle rapper and you're able to say the one bar to your opponent that everybody's been thinking, like, and you point it out in a really clever way, that as to where it's almost obvious, like, why hasn't someone said this before? And then those are what create room shakers right there. And like, hearing an announcement like Big K versus Rum Nitty, that's a motherfucking room shaker right there. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit like that you don't expect, but it's like, oh, this is on the tip of my tongue the whole damn time.
So, question for you, Lush, because for a minute, you know what I'm saying, King of the Dot had not been, you know what I'm saying, out here for a second, and now we have Town Bidness, and this is like a mega card to, like, make, you know what I'm saying, that stop coming back to the West major. Like, was this something that you guys had, like, talked about and planned? Like, okay, when we come back to the West, we're setting it off of, like, a major event? Was this something that just kind of put itself together? Like, talk about the process that went into putting together Town Bidness.
Man, it's literally like God's plan, God's plan, God's plan. Yeah, I swear to God, fool, because it was so natural. And throughout my history, and for those that might not be familiar with me, if you hear me talk, I'm not trying to come across as arrogant, speaking on my past accolades or anything like that, because I'm merely just another person contributing to the culture. But when I throw around words like classic events, these aren't things that I created. These are things that people have said. These are narratives that other people have said. It's not up to me to say what's classic, to say what's fire. But so, you know, our last event, this was World Dom. That was the last event we had, which was the end of 2017. That's the last KOTD West event. Actually, we had one GZ about half a month later, and that was it. And it was just like, at this point, none of us on the King of the Dot app are reliant on battle rap for our income. None of us, we all make our money elsewhere. You know what I mean? Like, none of us. So this we don't do events unless we want to do something awesome that's going to be fun for us. If it's not fun for us, if it's not adding to and invigorating the culture, we're just going to fall back. And that's kind of like there wasn't a strong King. There was no King of the Dot presence for all of 2018. And guess what? The West had an incredible year regardless. You know what I mean? In fact, probably one of the best years in West Coast battle rap history as far as cultivating new talent, new names, new faces popping up. Like, I feel like we're so supportive of our own scene, and we got people like you pushing the line for us that we don't realize that we're ahead of the curve of what people's perception are of us. Like, they don't know certain motherfuckers, like, the extent of how dope a Saint, an RX, a Grizz, an SO Finesse, like, these are real fucking serious hitters. And yes, they've battled out of state, but I don't think that impact has been fully realized yet. And I feel like, they got a chance to, they got that really jumping off last year. And, due to obviously the years of work leading up to that. And now that we're back in the mix, all we finna do is just add a little bit of color to it, make it more fun. You feel me? Like, I know that's ironic. The White League is adding some color to it, but fucking, that was a joke. Fucking, but we really like, we're not doing this because we have to. And in other times in my career in battle rap, I feel like the moves I was making were motivated by that, but were motivated by monetary come-ups and things like that. And any time I've ever done that, it's never turned out to be a quote-unquote classic. And it's always turned out to be a huge headache. Even if I have good intentions, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make money and provide for your family doing what you love. But if that's your sole motivation in cultural experience that literally changes thousands of lives, nah, that ain't going to work. So we're just doing this because we love it. It made sense. The Bay Area, it's funny, Organic has been my homeboy because when, in the early 2000s, there wasn't that many battle rappers. Like, as many people are in the Western Conference group now, that's how many fans there were of battle rap, period, in the entire world. There was probably less even. You feel me? Like there was battle events. They were like little freestyle tournaments with $150 prizes. There's a couple national platforms, like the old school Smack DVDs and Lions Den and shit like that, but there wasn't Nathan going on. There's literally only a few hundred of us, and most of us that were fans of it were active participants in the sport as well. So there's a website where everybody would kind of congregate, and that was called rapmusic.com a long time ago when a galaxy is far, far away. And Organic and I have been chopping it up on there since the early 2000s. He was probably like 14 years old, and the first time we actually met face-to-face was at an Oakland event when he came out to Battle Disaster at a Battle of the Bay 5. So like literally that Oakland holds so much significance, I think, because of how obviously, the Bay Area has always kind of been in LA's shadow. When people think of California, they think of palm trees and sunshine and Bloods and Crips. They don't think about sideshows and going dumb and mob music and pimping. That's not what people's perception of the culture of California is. Although, to discount Northern Cali and to take away the Bay Area's influence is nothing short of fucking ludicrous. You feel me? It's especially when this is where the entire movement really got jumped off, and there wouldn't be none of these heavy hitters in LA. They wouldn't even have the platform to be doing it like they are if it wasn't for the groundwork that motherfuckers put in the Bay. Now, mind you, I'm from LA. I'm born and raised in the 310 West Los Angeles, California. In fact, when I was born, the 310 was the 213. They changed that shit. Now, just like in the Bay, Oakland used to be the 415. Now it's 510. So this is me as an Angelino acknowledging the importance and the significance and the cultural impact and of Bay Area centricism in this culture. Like obviously battling hip hop, all that shit started in New York. We know that shit. We know Cool Herc from Jamaica and all that. But this modern manifestation of battle rap culture that popped up on YouTube, and with this format and all these leagues that were spawned, the Bay Area is the epicenter of that. Oakland, California is the birthplace of this entire generation of battle rap. Whether people want to acknowledge it or not, the good thing is the files have been saved. All you got to do is look on YouTube and see where them motherfucking battles is at.
Facts.
And the energy still radiates. You know what I mean? Like, I know you was out there in Sac, like, damn, them fools in the town is wilding right now in the battle rap, right?
Man, man, I remember just because I grew up as a kid, man, just early, man, 4 or 5 years old, just listening to ciphers, going to the street corner, you see people battling and whatnot, and you always hear about people in the Bay battling. Like, you hear them stories about just different people out there battling, man. So especially when you guys really were making an impact out there, having events and having battles going down, man, like the Bay definitely has strong history in the West Coast culture for battle rap, man. And I feel like a lot of people probably don't realize that, but I'm glad this Town Business card was made because it's going to bring it back to the place where a lot of this history originates, man. So definitely want to salute y'all for doing that.
Thank you, brother. That means so much. And like how many people remember Mr. Fab versus Locksmith? How many people remember Locksmith versus Clyde Carson? How many people remember Casual versus Saphir? How many people remember? These are quintessential classic rap battles that have taken place. The Dangerous Crew versus the Loonies. You know what I'm saying? Like there's people that are deeply entrenched in battle rap culture that might not even know these battles ever even existed. You know what I mean? So this goes back to the early mid-'90s. You feel me? Like Saphir versus Casual, that was on the motherfucking Wake Up Show. Come on, like it might not have aged as well, barn-wise, and but for the time, like, geez, like that was game-changing. And then when we knocked down doors in the town, it was I feel like Oakland is a great place to do that because the Bay Area's always had the independent DIY mentality on lock. Like, yeah, LA's got the industry, LA's got the pizzazz, LA's got all the extras, but if you want to do it yourself and supersede the need to even deal with the industry, the Bay's the place to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's like there's huge punk rock movements that spawned in the Bay, and huge underground hip hop movements. Like you didn't have it in LA like that, where folks could go and record entire albums on little tape cassettes and then mass produce them themselves and draw the covers and then stand outside of Anita Records on Telegraph and Ace in Berkeley and sell them shits. You feel me? Like, that's the Bay Area. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the Bay Area is the home of JT, the biggest figure, taking a $2 million advance from Atlantic Records, and instead of delivering them a project, using that money to launch his own independent imprint, Shop to Get Low Records. You feel me? Like, finesse the whole damn industry. Like, the Bay motherfuckers get it how they get it. They do it by any means necessary on the Malcolm tip, and that's really like that's how the battle rap thing got jumped off. There was no real preconceived notion. Yeah, we knew we wanted to come back and do an event. We knew it at the time because politically the climate got a little bit better for us. You know, I don't really need to elaborate on negativity that happened. We already know what happened. You know what I mean? Like, but. If you need me to clarify, I will, but I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. But the climate got a little bit better. But then we were thinking about it. What would make more sense? We go do another event in LA, even though every weekend there's 5 events in LA. Or bring it back to where we all got our fucking jump off point at. You know what I mean? Like me personally, like I said, I'm from LA. No one knew who the fuck I was until I moved to the Bay and got it lit up there. The Bay is where dreams are made. That's why people from all over come to the Bay and get their shit cracking. And if you're dope, and if you're open-minded, and you have like a certain type of, not to use a cliche word, but like woke, but like actually woke, not like fake woke mentality, you're gonna fit in the Bay, and you're gonna be able to wiggle however you want. I remember one time, I moved to the Bay Area in like 2001, and in like 2003, I was at the Brooklyn Marina with some of my partners smoking blunts. And, if you've ever been to the Brooklyn Marina, which I encourage all of you out-of-towners who who are coming to the Bay for town business to do, if you get a chance, stop by the Brooklyn Marina, smoke you a blunt, and you could see all of San Francisco. You could actually, on a clear day, see damn near the whole entire Bay Area. And I remember I was looking at that shit, looking at the smoke billowing through the sunroof, and I said to my partner, I said, "This is gonna be mine." He said, "What you talking about?" I said, "All this is gonna be mine," and I made that shit mine.
That's all facts, man. And I'm glad that you guys, you know what I'm saying, are back operating in the West. I'm glad that people like yourself are still really active and really still hungry and love this culture enough to even keep the essence alive, man. Because, you know, anybody else could be running events out here and they could just overlook the Bay. Like, oh, well, L.A. is where it's at. That's where all the battles happen at. Oh, we'll just do it in L.A. You know, or just, oh, well, the Bay Area, we might throw let's just throw like a little cheesy, or let's just throw a little small event. You guys went and got premier names and premier West Coast names from top to bottom, whether it's the top of the top tiers to those on the come up. Like, you guys really put this card together really dope, man. Got a lot of very good matchups cracking.
And I promise you, when you see you're gonna be even more excited when you see the rest of the card. You're gonna you think that we're done. Like the next 5 announcements are all fucking mind blowing.
Oh, you already know I'm on top of that. When I seen Thesaurus versus Caustic, I'm in my mind. I'm like, what? Like this? What? Like, okay, yeah. And this is day 2. Like,
on the dead homies, that's not even the biggest battle of day 2 either. I swear, it's not. It's hell of not.
I'm tuned in for sure. One thing I do want to ask you, because, you know, you've been pioneer of this culture, not even just the West, although you are the pioneer out here in the West, but just in battle rap, period. You really established work. A lot of people have just been around. You've actually been around and put in work. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely commend you on that and salute you for that. But one thing I wanted to ask you is, you know, with this new era of battle rap, you know, in the West, we get all these new battle rappers that come into the game. Some have potential, some they might have a little potential. But for the ones that have caught your attention in the last year or two, who are like, if somebody were to say, hey, give me 5 battle rappers from the West that are not on the main stage that you feel like are gonna be there, like I should be watching them from the West, who would you recommend people watch?
I feel like this was a very, very intelligent and subversive way for me to reveal more battles on this card. You're slick, dude. You're real slick.
That's right.
You're real. I give it to you. Like, that was slimy. I love it. Okay. Let me ask you this: Who are my 2 favorite battle rappers that you've seen me push the line for the past couple of years?
I would say Saint, most definitely.
Yeah.
Saint. Me personally, I just have to say this: Saint should be main stage. Like,
yeah,
it's almost getting criminal that he's not there. He has everything.
Saint Clutch, Dre, RX. Come on, easy call. You feel me? Easy call.
Yeah, like, there's so much talent. The West has the deepest talent pool out of the entire culture. Like, you could literally you could have at least 5 or 6 different starting 5s to send out. Like, oh, you need a 5? Here's a 5. Oh, you need another 5? Like, I really do feel like the West has the deepest talent pool in battle rap, period, like anywhere.
I agree, especially like if you really think about it, if you analyze the entire real geographical region, and, you know, obviously once you start including, it's really over once you start including Arizona and shit. As soon as we get to claim Rum Nitty, it's a Rizap. So Arizona's the West Coast, period, because Rum's from there.
Facts.
So he from here. But not like the original concept of the Fresh Coast, which actually predates my application of it, was just L.A. and the Bay and the whole entire state, and really the whole entire coast, from Tijuana to Vancouver, if you want to get super technical, all of us fucking working together, and not just, and battlers being used to traveling up and down the coast, and fans being accustomed to it as well, and recognizing now. I mean, now we call it Western Conference, and it's actually expanded because Fresh Coast was really just the coast, even though we did, traverse other territories as well. Like, I love the, whatever moniker, it's a spirit that exists. Like, you could call it Buddha, you could call it Jesus, you could call it Nipsey Hussle, whatever. It's the same spirit that exists. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing with Fresh Coast, Western Conference. To me, it's the same motherfucking thing. And I'm really hoping that we can bring back just like people getting used. I feel like right now people are more accustomed to hitting LAX and going to JFK to battle in New York than they are taking a 1-hour puddle jumper to Oakland. That ain't right.
Man, talk about it. Talk about it. Oh, my God.
You feel me? You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, that is the original concept, and I'm glad that we're going full circle. And just so you know, with that being said, without giving away too much information, there will most likely, we are planning on going to LA after this, and we'll probably be going back to the Bay on a real big note, in conjunction with some real major players. Fuck, I wish I could tell you, but yeah. We're not done at Town Bidness. Town Bidness is the initiation.
I heard that. Talk that shit. Y'all back in the West. You see, I told everybody in the West. Y'all kept asking for it. It's here now. So y'all better start A game from here on out. No more of this half-stepping. Well, I want to try today. Well, I didn't eat my Wheaties this morning. So, it's time. It's elevation time.
I can't even imagine how hard it is to get on a URL card, because it's hard as fuck to get on this card, and I've had to turn. It's the most disheartening part of this entire event for me, and the only negative thing that I can really think of that I've had to deal with is there's not enough room for everybody on the card. We can only do in 2 days, like 6 battles a day. We don't like to do events with 15 battles. Like, that's if people don't realize why that shit's TV and super counterproductive, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, I understand why people book hella battles on the same card, because they want to bring more people, and they think, okay, well, MC so-and-so has going to bring 8 people, and if he battles MC blah, 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 he'll bring 15 people, so that's going to be this. So it's a mathematics game. They're trying to make it make sense. They're trying to put everyone on. So I'm not hating on people that do that, but when you're dealing with events of this caliber, with this many people trying to maintain the interest of the audience, like the capacity of the venue that we're doing this at is close to 500 people. You know what I mean? Like, to captivate that crowd for that, you can't do it for more than 6-7 battles max. So it sucks that we haven't been able to put, and that we've had to say no to a lot of really great, talented people. So all that, like you were saying, all that half-assing performances, phoning in, dialing in, that's cool, because you ain't finna be on the next card. There's 12 hungry, 25, 3,050 hungry MCs willing, ready, and able to take their motherfucking spot.
That's a fact. That is a fact, man. And for the most part, man, are the people who have that potential the people that we talk about and we say, yeah, they're up next, or they definitely are going to get there. They're doing their job this year and last year. So the last year and a half has been very strong for the West. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you had Geechee winning the Champion of the Year, bringing that back home to the West. Grizz going out there, battling Jada Nightwing out there, battling Stewie Newton. All of our people are going everywhere, man, and putting in that good work out here, man. Dre Vicious has made his return. Disaster came back versus Cali Smooth. Like, the West is on fire right now.
Active finally starting to glimpse at the potential we've known he's had this whole time. You know what I mean? Like,
Active's performance in that one rounder A-Hat at the beginning of this year.
Man.
I mean, I wasn't in the building, but I felt the energy through the TV. I'm like, oh my God, okay, Active is back. Like, I didn't need to see anything else. He's back. Then I seen him book burst oops, and I'm like, oh my good, okay, Active is back.
He's a good friend of mine, Active, and I've been a strong believer in his talent for many years. You know, really, Diz is obviously the biggest one. Diz would tell me, like, when we first became homies back in 2007, he was like, yo, my homie Active is better than everybody. He was talking up Active in Daylight before anyone had heard of them. You know what I mean? Like, outside of the pit scene, the West Coast pit scene in LA, and act like, you know, and I've seen just kicking shit with Active and seeing him rap. Like, I know how fucking talented that dude is. And, you know, I've given him some of his bigger opportunities battle-wise, you know, his Lex battle, his Big T battle, and things like that, because I believe in him so much. But that one-rounder this year made me so happy because I was like, this is the way you rap when it's just me, you, and Diz and your brother in the room. You feel me? Like, but you're doing it in front of 200 people. This is the Active we need to see from now on, always.
Facts, man. One thing I wanted to ask you, as it pertains to just the West Coast, is for our new battle rappers, if there was one piece of advice that you could give to the newcomers, people who maybe they're in their first year, they're just getting started, maybe they've been around for a year or two, and they're trying to get to that next level, like, what would be the one piece of advice you would give to our young battlers out here in the West?
It has to only be one piece.
It could be more, but, you know.
I'm going to try to make it like one multi-layered piece because I kind of tend to be a long-winded motherfucker. That's the Italian curse right there.
All good.
Got it from my grandma, but bless her soul. So really, I would say number one, the most important thing you need to do is you need to define a character for yourself. And I don't mean like an affectation, but you need to bring something to the table stylistically, presentation-wise, that's going to captivate people and draw them in outside of gesture lyricism. Now, lyricism, that's the core foundation. That's like saying, how do you run a marathon without legs? You need to have lyricism. That goes without saying. But it's the intangibles. It's what you say. It's what you don't say. It's the pauses you use in between your bars. It's the way that you react or don't react as your defense when your opponent's rapping. It's the way that you can engage them. I think really, if I was going to say there's one rapper I would use as a template, and I'd be like this guy and study the way he's moved his whole career. Look at Ronnie. Ronnie is the perfect example of that's the template that I would tell a new up-and-coming battler to follow, in the sense that this is a dude that came from a region which has a great battle league. Anyone knows me knows that UBR is one of my favorite leagues. I've been hosting there since 2013, okay, since literally their first year. I love UBR. New Mexico is a very remote region, very isolated from the rest of the country. You ever been to New Mexico, Nico?
No, I have not. I've not been out there.
Okay, well, when you go to New Mexico, you kind of get the feeling like if Donald Trump was pissed enough, he would like flip a switch and then like the whole state would just get cut off. There'd be no power, no electricity, and it would be like something out of Zombieland. That's literally what like New Mexico has. So basically, I say that to say this. This is a dude that came from a region that didn't have that much attention, and through having a unique character, dope bars, and progressive marketing strategies, has gotten himself flown across the world, battled on every league, on almost every major card he's considered for, and is literally is an up-and-coming elite talent in the West. And I use up-and-coming kind of hesitantly because I think he's already established. And I think that if Ronnie was really like from LA like that, he would be up there with the Dre's and those names, or it's not high. You know what I'm saying? He'd have a lot more exposure, but the fact that he did it in from such a remote region speaks volumes about his ingenuity and creativity. And I think that's what and I'm not telling up and coming battlers, you know, make funny memes about your opponents and you know what I mean, and make sure you date Mexican girls, be like Ronnie. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is be original, have a character, have fun with it. Don't let the politics consume you.
I heard that. I like that right there. Yeah, Ronnie is definitely somebody, man, who he found a way to make himself marketable. Like you said, he found a way to make himself marketable in a place where you wouldn't think you could do that at. And that's like something that anybody could look at and say, okay, dang, okay, this dude made it from out here. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I have no excuse if I'm in L.A. I have no excuse. You know what I mean? Like, you just have to go ahead and just work on your craft, man, and keep it original to yourself.
Period. And that's why, I mean, like, when Geechee came into the game, I feel like he came in with a motherfucking thunderstorm because of just the stark realness he brings to the game. Like, that fool's just being himself. There's no affectation. There's no gun bars. He's telling things that he's observed. You know what I mean? Like, he's literally just, and that right there, that authenticity, that's what makes him unique and so special. You know what I mean? Like, the way that there's certain characteristics that every rapper has and embodies that makes them unique. And if they don't learn what those are, they just get left in the middle of the herd. And like you said before, California being such a diverse and deep talent pool, it's very easy to drown in that motherfucker. Ain't no floaties out here.
That's 100. That's 100, man. Let's see. I got a couple more things I want to ask you. I'll save this one for the last one. But music in the West, and this is something that I want to get more into as far as like pushing and promoting, because I feel like a lot of people, and we have people like Gotti and obviously Crack City, Death Certificate, they stay really heavy into. We have a lot of people who do music, but one thing I feel like kind of gets lost is that with all our battle rap history that we have here in the West, music was a major part of early battle rap in the West.
Yes, sir.
Like, that was something that was, if not greater than the battle element, music has always served in the West.
Thank you.
It's just our expression. You know what I'm saying? So with the people who you see,
you're right, 1,000%. And I think that comes from the fact that back when we all started doing that shit in the late 90s, early 2000s, there wasn't no such thing as a battle MC. That concept didn't really exist. It was just you rap, and if you rap, you're probably gonna have to battle somebody, or else you're gonna be not the coolest person rapping at the party. And that's gonna make you look bad, and you're not gonna get no girls. It was really that fucking simple. You know what I mean? Like battling became it was just an intrinsic skill set that every MC had to have to a certain degree. Everybody who's ever rapped, I don't give a fuck if you're Elzai, Soulja Boy, T Grizzly, or Idea. You've battled before, at least once.
I was going to ask you, as it pertains to music in the West and the impact that it has, how do you feel about the current state of the West Coast and the music that we're putting out with the battle rappers and our rappers that we have here within the culture? Like, how do you feel about the current state of the West Coast music scene right now?
It's fire. It's fire. I mean, like, I think a real monumental outlet is Burn Your Day and Avocado, and he's providing a platform for so much diverse talent to come out the West, you know what I mean, and showcase our musical talent. Like you said, we've been doing that from Jump Street, and to most of us, it's more important than battling is the music. And you know, we just for myself it definitely is. It just so happened that you know, when you're a Renaissance man and you have a lot of interest and are excelling at a lot of different things that you put your mind to, then you don't know what's gonna pop off for you. I didn't know that it was gonna be battle rap that was gonna eclipse all of my. You know, I have a fucking platinum record in France, bro. I have a gold plaque in Belgium. You feel me? I've charted in Switzerland. You feel me? Like I've charted on national college radio multiple times, even in the past 2 years. But there's still 90% of my fans barely even know that I rap. You know what I mean? But
that's crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, like I got a video with 16 million views on YouTube. Look that bitch up. You feel me? 16 million views. You feel me? Like, now I'm not saying all my videos got 16 million views, but I have a video with 16 million views. And fucking so, but Ruin Your Day has been really dope at like bringing everybody together, bringing diverse styles together. I'm not so sure if the 667 cult would have come together in the manner that it did, with if it wasn't for Ruin Your Day, and that's for those that don't know, Bobby Butcher, Ilmac, Chase Moore, myself, and some of our other homies that are Fredo, and some of our other homies who are not battle rappers, but very dope MCs. And obviously, like Chase Moore as a producer deserves a huge nod at, this is the dude, he's making beats for everybody. He's making beats. He's produced for B-Dot. He's produced for Daylight. He's produced for Ilmac. He's produced for me and Bobby. He just did a joint with Clutch and Beast the other night, 2 nights ago. So it's like this dude is creating the sonic palette of the coast, and or helping a lot to do so in a very diverse way. So I think that is really cool. And you can't really say that's mutually exclusive to the West. I mean, Ruin Your Day is, but I feel like there's a lot of dope music or people that are making an impact, whether or not I fuck with their music, but there's a lot of people making an impact musically that cannot be ignored. Obviously, Sue Surf fucking charting on iTunes, like, you can't ignore that. That's fire. You feel me? Like, Bangs is making fucking songs with Chris Brown right now. What? Are you fucking joking? He's made records with Chris Brown? Like, are you serious? Like, like what Verb is doing over there in St. Louis, you know what I mean? He's getting his I didn't even know Verb had he's like college dropout Kanye damn near on his tracks nowadays. Like, I didn't even know Verb had that in him. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not even just a Westie thing. Yeah, we do it, but I feel like there's just a lot of fools in battle rap that are focusing on other elements of their creativity, such as doing music, and are excelling really. I mean, look how great Daylight's doing. You know what I mean? Like, look at Daylight right now. Like, it's crazy. People aren't even aware of the history. Like I said, I talked about my own history, but did people know that B-Dot had a song with Kendrick Lamar before he ever started battle rapping? I bet you they don't. I bet you 98% of the people listening to this right now are going to be like, what? Yeah. Look that shit up. I think this song is called Cali. And it's from like 2008 or some shit. Like, this is like, we ain't new to this, we true to this. So it's dope to see, it's dope that there's been a resurgence in the popularity of the West Coast bat. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that just, like, rap in LA has been crazy the past few years. Rap up north has been crazy. Your city, bro, like Mozzie and all them, and Shooter Gang and all them going crazy up there. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of dope music coming from California right now. I would say LA is the most exciting. Like, as someone who had an entire podcast called Flavor Junkie, which is dedicated to up-and-coming regional up-and-coming artists in every single different specific region, We did an episode where we covered Detroit. We did an episode covering Chicago, the Bay Area, LA. Like someone that has studied, colloquial regionalism and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like within hip hop culture, I would say that LA is probably the most exciting city right now, and that's not because I'm from here. And obviously, we just took a tremendous lot, not just as a rap community, as a hip hop scene, but as we just took one of our great leaders, one of our great souls was taken from us recently with R.I.P. Nipsey. But like O3 Greedo, yeah, and then you got O3 Greedo locked up. He was making a huge impact out of L.A. Draco the Ruler getting locked up and having his own lyrics used against him as evidence. Like that's crazy shit right there. So it's like LA's been going through a lot of drama as far as the music goes, but through these circumstances, these are through turmoil is when the greatest music comes out. Like if you look at history, people talk about how dope all the music from the 60s was, right? Woodstock was 1969, right? Mm-hmm. Fucking the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, all them motherfuckers, right? Like, why was that shit cracking off? Well, the Kennedy brothers got assassinated. Richard Nixon had his dick up the country's ass. Fucking civil rights movement. They killed Martin Luther King. They killed, all this crazy tragedy was going on, and through that unrest birthed an incredible generation of music. Like look at other eras that were when things were chill. That's when people turn up. Like we had Obama in office, and everybody was leaning with it and rocking with it and doing snap music and getting hypey and going dumb. So we wasn't tripping. So Obama's the president. It's all good. We ain't got to worry about nothing. And then boom, shit's all bad now. And look, all this crazy music is coming out of this turmoil and civil unrest. And it's the same thing. Look at the early 90s when we had the LA riots, when we had the Rodney King verdict, when we had the earthquake, and the 89 earthquake in the Bay, and in the 92 earthquake in Northridge. Like all that shit right there, or 94, whatever the fuck. Like that whole time period is when some of the dopest hip-hop music ever, particularly in California, ever came out. That's, Dr. Dre's The Chronic. That's the emergence of Snoop Dogg. That's NWA's last album. That's the emergence of DJ Quick. That's the emergence of E40 and you know what I mean? Mac Dre. Like,
yeah.
Go on and on and on and on. But so now I feel like we're back in that era, and the fact that there's just so much dope creative energy going around and it's being expressed through musical vibrations, you're pretty much whack if you're not contributing to that.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact, man. Music to me, man, I just, like, if you came up in the time period that I came up in, just in the 90s, and you just, even prior to, my time, music, it just served as something for our region, just like we were able to express ourselves. And I feel like it was the purest form, it was like the purest form of hip-hop, in my opinion, because it's like we got to express the viewpoint and what we see every day here. And at one time, we weren't really represented on a mainstream level with that kind of representation about what the visuals were here. And you just look at over the years, people have been able to finally get a sense and grasp of what it really is over here. You know what I mean? On this side, so, music is definitely
like where you're from, Sacramento. Like, before I had never been to that city. I knew it was the capital of California. I had never been to that city, but I knew that on Deuce Hole Block, Garden Block, there's Crips. You feel me? Like, I knew that from the time I was 13. Because of why? Because of rap music. And that was a gateway to the culture. And I wanted to go. When I first went to Sac, I was like, take me to Deuce Hole Block. You feel me? Because I heard that's what I heard Brother Lynch Hung talking about. You know what I mean? And now I can imagine it's a very similar thing with the emergence of Mozzie. And, like, I feel like Mozzie right now, especially since, tragedies ensued and we lost Nip, I feel like Mozzie's kind of like low-key the ball's about to get passed to him.
Yeah,
we gotta see Mozzie. We need him to do some incredible shit.
Yeah, I think he definitely has like his best years to come when it comes to music, because every year he's been, you know what I'm saying, putting content out, man. It's gotten better and better and better and better. He showed more elevation, more levels to his content and everything. So, yeah, Mozzie's definitely somebody who I feel like is definitely primed to be able to take that next step, man.
Thank God he spent all that his time locked up in the library, because his vocabulary is amazing and it's super jailhouse. But it adds to his charm. And he fucking, man, I encourage people to slap him and Nipsey's album if y'all ain't done so, because that shit is amazing.
Talk about it. But yeah, man, I just remember when I was in high school, man, this is R.I.P. Mac Dre, man. He used to actually come over there to the high school out there in South Sac, man. He used to come over there, smoke tree with everybody. You know what I'm saying? They get little studio sessions up in Sacramento. We take trips to the Bay. You know what I'm saying? And like Sebo, even before that time, Sebo was making a major impact with that, man. Like, we used to take weekly trips to the Bay. Just going out there, studio sessions, going out there, side shows, going out there. And I remember going out there, man, in like high school. We used to go out there, and it'd be like battles on the corner. Like, we go out there, like, okay, we got to take some people over here from Sacramento, some of our rappers, and we go out there to the Bay, and they'll have battles out there on the street. We go to West Oakland, East Oakland. We be all over the Bay out there.
I want to be surprised if me and you were standing 5 feet away from each other and didn't even know it, bro.
Yeah, it's like there's so much history with like the West, man. I remember even taking trips, man. I used to have people from Sacramento. They used to take trips to L.A. and they used to come back. I remember I was young. I was just about to get like into junior high school, and they used to tell me about the Pit. I'm like, the Pit? They're like, yeah, man, that shit in L.A., man, that shit crazy out there. Like, man, if you battling, man, you got to go over there. I just remember always hearing the stories and getting everybody telling me all the names of the people who was going crazy, who was winning, who, you know, and all that, like who was doing the dope music. So music and just the West period, man, has just, it's major for us. And the fact that we're able to bridge the gap between that and battle rap is amazing, because it's very impactful to us.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that, you know, obviously there's a rich musical history in the Bay Area that predates hip-hop by generations. But in addition to that, there's a long history of tapping, of roasting, of making fun of out-swagging, of out-steezing, you know what I mean? So, like, when you combine those elements, what's delivered in the wake of that? Battle rap. And that's why, to bring the conversation full circle, those classic Bay Area rap battles that I mentioned, which predate my involvement in the culture, most of them, they were all established musical artists. There's a dude, I don't know if you're familiar with, obviously you know the Dangerous Crew is, which is Too Short's crew, but I don't know if are you familiar with Rappin' Ron?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rappin' Ron and Antizzy Dog. They're called Bad Influence. Probably two of the dopest rappers of all time. Rappin' Ron, I always said, he's like Oakland's version of Big L. Every bar was a punchline.
Hey, I've heard that before, man. But yeah, talk that shit, but that's a fact.
Yeah, no, for real. I'm glad that other people acknowledge that as well. Not only because they both, you know, died way before their time. Sadly, what's crazy about Ron, he died in a car accident, I believe. So he wasn't even a murder or anything crazy like that. It was something as fluke as a car accident. But this dude, Rappin' Ron, now I know that's a super corny sounding name, but sorry, Ron Compton, and R.I.P. Cadillac Ron. But I know Rappin' Ron don't sound like a super saucy name, but he really, like, every bar was a punch. He had flawless flow, and he was really dope. And there are these two other youngsters from East Oakland coming up called I think they were called the Lunatics at the time. They weren't even called the Loonies yet, or like the Lunatic Clique, or they had another name. But it was Yuckmouth, Numbskull, and I think Seagram was a part of them. R.I.P. Seagram was a part of them at the time too. And, like, you know, these are dudes that wound up having arguably one of the 10 best rap songs ever made with I Got Five on it, you know what I mean? And like
That's a fact.
These dudes battled, you know what I mean? Saphir, arguably West Oakland's greatest music maker of all time. If you listen to the album Boxcar Session, if you're a real hip-hop head, listen to Saphir Boxcar Sessions. If you
Talk about it.
You know what I mean? And who did he battle? Casual. Maybe the greatest rapper in Oakland history, period, from the Mighty Hieroglyphics crew. You know what I mean? So it's like these dudes, like the music and the battling were related from day one. Even down in L.A., the Project Blow scene, all these freestyle fellowship, all these fools were making, they would go to a battle or they would rock a show, perform, battle MCs afterwards, and then go and record a song in the studio right afterwards. And that's just like the DIY Cali rapper lifestyle from the Fresh Coast, from when we came up. And it's dope to see that energy still exists, and it's dope. Like I really it's dope to see when I look at outlets outside of battle rap or that aren't even affected by battle rap, and I see people still listing Geechee Gotti's album as one of the albums of the year, up there with, you know what I mean? Like up there with fucking whatever, J. Cole, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me is fire.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Said like I remember growing up, man. I grew up on D-Shot and the Boss Ballin' compilation, 3 Times Crazy, LP. You know what I'm saying? Like before Keith, you know what I'm saying? Like with solo, I remember. That's what I grew up on, man. Drew Down, all that, G.O.V. I grew up on all that, man. You know what I'm saying? Man. So that's like my favorite kind. I can always go back to that music. So anytime we start talking about music, man, I get nostalgic. I'm like, man, this is what I grew up on, and this is what like fed into me. Just like where I say like it transitions into battle rap, because all of them groups, all of them dudes who were rapping and are legends in our culture, man, if you look at their scene, there was always a battle element there. And that's how it always ties in, man. And so it's so dope to see how that history is just continuing. And now that battle rap is getting pushed more to the forefront out here, and we're seeing that people are still continuing that greatness with the music as well, man. So definitely salute everybody for putting in that work.
It's really funny because people looked at me as a weirdo growing up because I was super into Bay Area rap as a jit. I was like 13, slapping like Mac Mall when everybody else was like, yo, what the fuck? We're listening to Dog Pound and, you know what I'm saying, Mac 10 and, you know what I mean? They were listening to that kind of shit. And it's funny because correct me if I'm wrong, but Notorious B.I.G., like, not his album tracks, but his singles, they all sounded like Cali records. Big Papa is a Cali record. Hypnotize is a Cali record. Going Back to Cali is a Cali record. Like, come on now. Juicy is a Cali record. They sound like Summertime in California. More they have Ohio player samples. They have high pitched synthesizers, which our beats are known for. You know what I mean? Like, so the Bay Area sound was not popping in L.A. back in the, people thought I was a weirdo for being a fan of E40 and Mac Mall. And the thing is, here's the secret. The OG rappers from the Bay Area are by far, and it's not even close, by far the coolest, most hospitable, most down-to-earth, and most regular that you will encounter in any region in the fucking world.
Facts. That's all facts, man. That is all facts.
I don't think we would have got to this point even within our insular movement and our Grind Time King of the Dot Fresh Coast scene. If it wasn't for, A+ from Soul to Mischief showing up at our first event because he was the homie and we did records with him, and then EA Ski and Locksmith and Yuck Mouth and Mac Mall and all these dudes that I grew up idolizing were like, hey, what you're doing is dope, blood. Hey, cuzzo, this is dope, blood. You know what I mean? And then supporting us and giving us that extra little push. I don't even know if we would have made it this far.
Nah, that's real talk. That's real talk. Yeah, I'm saying. Last question before we get up out of here. I know I done had you on here for a minute, man, but the dialogue has been thorough and it's been dope, man. So I appreciate you taking this time. But my last question for you, in your opinion, what with our coast leagues, like our local circuits, for all the league owners and all the leagues out here, what's something that you want the leagues to do more of, and what would you like to see our leagues out here do less of?
I think that I'd like to see less senseless competing and stepping on toes and perpetuating a lobsters in a barrel mentality, which makes us look like clowns to the rest of the world. I'd like to see less of that, and I'd like to see more people just doing this for fun and for passion rather than clout, and finding a sense of identity, like from the battlers to the organizers to certain people in the media, obviously not yourself, because I see the passion in the heart, and it's quite palpable to anybody that has ever encountered you, how, real of a dude you are. But, a lot of people are not in this game for those same intentions. They like the attention they get. They like how popular and cool it makes them feel. I'd like to see less of that shit.
I heard that. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that, man. And, I appreciate you, man. You're one of the people that, for me, it was always interesting, man. A pioneer, somebody who's done so much for the West, and just battle rap, period. Pioneer of battle rap, period. You're still going to local events. Like, that to me, that stood out to me when I would see that. I'm like, here's Lush One, pioneer in battle rap culture, does not owe anybody anything, does not have to do anything else. He could literally just sit back, okay, we're going to do this big event, okay, cool. Still going to the local side of the game, still chopping it up with the young up-and-coming battle rappers, like still giving games, still hosting. Like, that to me was something that, like, I want to commend you for, because most people are not doing that. And that's why I say, like, you're a legend in this culture, because there's a difference between somebody who they stand in front of a camera, they'll host, and it's cool and everything like that. And then there's the people who do real groundwork. They don't just sit on their past accomplishments. They actually hit the ground running and actually do real work. And so I definitely want to salute you for everything that you've done for the West, man. There's people out here in Sacramento, man. I be telling them about battle rap, and they be like, oh, you mean like Lush One? You mean like Arsenal? I'm like, yeah. You know what I mean? And like, you think about it, it's like that's impact. Like, when you're a name that's getting mentioned to a person who's not really a battle rap fan, they're like, oh, yeah, Lush One, or, oh, yeah, I watch Arsenal, or I watch Hitman. That's impactful. You know what I'm saying? Because you've left a mark on somebody's life when it comes to the battle rap side of the game. So definitely want to salute you for all your work.
No, it means a lot, bro. And you know what? Like, I just do it because the shit is fun, bro, and it inspires me, and I love it. You know what I mean? I came from it, and I'm a lifer. You feel me? I got an LWAP in battle rap culture. Motherfuckers can't get rid of me if they wanted to. I've been trying to get rid of myself, but I love it too much.
Oh, man, we appreciate you. We appreciate you, but I want to say once again, thank you for taking this time to, sit here and chop it up with us, man, talking about the King of the Dot Town Bidness card coming up May 18th. You know what I'm saying? Going over just the West history, man, giving people an insight that they probably did not know prior to this interview. So I want to salute you for that. And these next few minutes, man, go ahead and, promote anything that you have going on, any shout-outs you want to do.
I really want to shout you out, my man, and just as being such a solid, reputable force pushing for the line for the West. I wish that I had someone like you around more when I was getting the shit jumped off, because I feel like we'd be even further. Thank you so much for your continued contributions. It means a lot. This is a great outlet. I think that I can't even imagine how many different MCs have cut their teeth doing interviews for their first time on your platform. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's a lot of them, though, and it's dope. And technically this is my second time being on here, but the first episode I was on got erased because there's a whole bunch of, there's a whole bunch of activities on the phone.
I remember that show. Oh, that was a day. That was a day.
So I knew when I came back, I was like, all right, we got to make it epic, but not too epic.
Yeah, man. For those of you who don't know, man, it's history, man. It's West Coast history. That was an interesting day, man. That show was very interesting, man. But it was dope, too, because we definitely had good conversation and got clarity on a lot of stuff that day, too. So, all in all, it wasn't too bad.
And oddly enough, not to rehash anything, but one of the big things in question was the Bay Area's relevance in battle rap culture. I remember that was discussed extensively that day. And now there's a 3-letter response to that, LOL.
Yes. Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah,
most definitely. Hey, there's one person I have to say his name because I can't leave a discussion about the Bay Area, the West Coast battle rap scene. I gotta shout out my bro Link, Bay Area representative,
fucking clean.
very thorough, man. I want to shout him out, man, because we talked about all the Bay Area and everything like that, and he probably gets overlooked a lot just because his name's not as big as maybe some like the Passwords and people like that, but Link has definitely put in work on the local circuits, man. He's definitely represented the Bay Area very well, especially this year. So, you know what I mean? Shout out to Link.
Shouts to that man and his continued work, and shouts to all the other Central Cali and Northern Cali platforms like PNR, like Battle of the Zay, like Central Coast Chamber. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And all them leagues and there's a lot of talented dudes getting overlooked, and hopefully, like I said, we're gonna make the state a smaller place again and make the scene smaller, and then dudes like Link will be the roses that emerge from the Bay Area concrete. You feel me?
Man, talk about, I was going to say, shout out to PNR. I actually battle on PNR for the first time next weekend. So, all type of history is going to be made, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody.
Save the files.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have fun, man. But, Lush, I appreciate you taking the time, King. Much respect. And we definitely going to get you back up here soon, man. Probably, closer to the card after the full card's been announced.
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to be out there, too.
Yeah, please, man. We need you there. We need you front and center, Mando. And, yeah, just let me know whenever this drop. I'll blast the link everywhere, et cetera. And once again, I appreciate you.
Most definitely, King.
All right, have a great night, bro.
All right, you too.